Has anybody found any life in the rings yet, personally?
No.
Not in Omega, I think. Not out where we are with the expedition.
But
I'm
I
just wondering what I
didn't
have to
find
look for to find it.
any phenomena so far.
Yeah,
We could actually talk about that during the show if you want to.
Yeah,
that'd be
Because
but
cool.
main
obviously,
focus will be on mining and the community goal
yeah.
first.
But I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, with mining, Dan knows about rings, so that would be
yeah.
something.
It's kind of linked. It's part of another project
Oh,
to keep.
song is ending. I'm
Oh,
taking over the
all right,
radio
boss.
soon. Let me just get a test signal playing. Yep, there we go. All right, we are on the radio. I'm your host here, Chankk on the radio side of things with Distant Radio 3305. And on my left, I have on the video end.
Yeah, it's me, Dr. Nagi. And this is a bit improvised. Chankk wasn't planned to be here right now, but Michael instead, but he seems to be sleeping still, so
Well,
Chankk jumped in for him.
yeah, he's been quite busy this past week, especially with updates on the community goals and the completion of it. And that is why we have our guest here on my right, the famous and should be now well known Polish Dan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
So,
And,
Polish Dan,
it's great to have you.
just to make things clear from the start, you're not actually Polish, are you?
I think my accent gives that away. But yeah, I have not a drop of Polish blood in me.
He's clearly Russian. Oh no.
To go a bit further, it was actually a nickname at school that kind of got stuck. I don't know why, but it was just what was given to me. And it goes, and now people know it.
Well, they should know it because Polish Dan is. I don't have the background, so this is why it's going to be a little bit of an awkward show here. Polish Dan is the head of our mining group over in FleetCom, as well as the head of the Distant Worlds 2 mining groups. And I want to congratulate you and all your efforts and everything you organized to complete the first and only Tier 11 mining community goal in history for the Distant Worlds 2 community goal 1.
Thank you very much. Is it really the first Tier 11? I think is that the first one to complete at Tier 11?
We tried to do a little research on it, and we've only found the Gnosis community goal that went to tier 10, and it was a trading community goal. So a lot more tons were delivered. It was 35 million tons for that one, but it was trading, so much easier than mining, I'd have to say.
It's not a bad effort, eh?
Yeah,
Yep,
just buying stuff
on the-
somewhere and hauling it over.
Yep. I mean, on the original Gnosis, the shipments were literally coming from just 1 to 2 stations away. So they were just buying stuff, moving it, buying stuff, moving it. But as for mining goals, it's the first ever Tier 11 mining goal to begin with. But not only that, it was actually completed with 3 million tons mined out of the many systems and planets we have available around the Omega sector and delivered for the building of the Distant Worlds 2 station, which will be out near the core, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yes.
So, I think we should probably start with. I mean, I've given a little bit of intro, but I think we should actually get your perspective on who are you, and what is your general focus at the moment, or what's your focus in general, on what you do?
So, who am I? I I'm a miner, as I think we know. We've established that. But we've in previous years we've been mining since we've been mining pre-Olympics. A lot of us. The Olympics when they got added were quite the luxury. But yeah, we've been mining for a long time, and in March, I found that we personally, some of our friends, we had a very small mining, group that we used to go out together and utilize why we know so much about the wing mining. Simply that we've done it for a long time, just within small numbers, maybe 4 or 5 of us together, just meet up when we get chance and go and do a bit of mining. And then I had a bit of a light bulb moment. I thought, we'll make a mining community, and try and bring mining's quite popular, secretly quite popular, and was even before the core mining introduction in Chapter 4, which has been brilliant, by the way. I set up a server, basically, in my eyes, that would be a glorified looking for a wing server for miners, because, like I say, we were very sparse, and we were like, mining was popular, but we were very, very spread out. So when it came to doing anything like interacting with each other and whatnot, we were too far away from each other just to have a quick meet up, and it tends to be you maybe only get 2 or 3 people doing it. So I set the server up and let it run its course and just introduced miners to each other from all over, different factions and different allegiances and things like that. And slowly, as of March, we grew in size. The server that I speak about, we are called the Intergalactic Mining Union, or IMU, which was more known. In June, after the setup of the IMU, we recommended, have any of you guys met any of the rock rats at all?
Oh, no, I was gonna ask you about the rock rats, by the way, because being involved in mining and the rock rats being focused seemingly on surface materials, it would seem like you were kind of 2 groups that had similar ideas and focuses, and especially with now the new exploration and being able to find things much more easily on surfaces. If you were connected or related in any way, and what you feel about that, the new tools that we have available to us.
Yeah, so we were in when it got to, I think we were slowly, the IMU was slowly growing. We have become quite popular for tutoring and stuff like that. So a lot of our we plunged a lot of our knowledge and expertise and experience into helping anybody that wanted to take it on. Now, we've met some of the rock rats before, and we've come into contact with one thing and another that we've done, over the years. And Baroness Galaxy, one of the rock rats, approached me as the creator of the IMU server and said, would you be willing to, come and give us a hand? The rock rats aid in the Distant Worlds 2 mining department, and it'd be good that if we could cover, like you mentioned about the surface prospecting, it would be good if we could combine and get your knowledge on the asteroid mining, and we can concentrate on the planetary surface mining. So I thought, great, excellent. And the guys over at the Rock Rats are fantastic. If you ever meet them, they're some of the best guys and girls. It led to a great, better friendship. But some of us were already associated as friends, but it helped make an even better relationship between the two groups. And then so that was June. And then it got to December, and the beta was released, which announced that the Rock Rats, what their role was, or what was explained to me, is their role was to go and find I think what people now know as like the geological sites and things like that. But before the new equipment, you had to go and physically find them and find the coordinates. Whereas the probes now,
that was rough time.
So they were top of their game. They were the go-to guys for the prospecting on planets. So the new equipment meant that they didn't really have such an not being important is the wrong phrase, but it wasn't so essential for them to go out and find, because it was quite easy with the probes. Do you know, if you've used them before, you'll know that the probes actually release the information straight to you and provide the access to navigate to them without the use having to find exact coordinates and things like that.
Oh so, yeah, well, as a site scout for previous expedition. Hey, Michael finally made it. As a site scout for previous expeditions, I can relate. It's like, it used to be a skill. It was something you were proud of, that you were able to find something, and now you shoot some rocket. But I think Nagi had some comments and questions for you here,
Yep. I wanted to actually ask something very basic now. How did you actually get into Elite Dangerous, and what made you go do mining in the first place? So how did you get, let's say, attached to it?
So this I might stir up some trouble now. Are you ready?
My body is prepared.
So my what you could call genre of games has always been the likes of your medieval types of going out and pickaxe mining and so on and so forth, hacking, cut and slash, swords, shields, and this and other. Never glanced at another sci-fi game except for the Mass Effect trilogy, and then I was browsing social media one day. Video comes up with Elite Dangerous on, and I'm looking at it, and I see these two mining lasers, and I just stared at it, and I thought, my God, they're actually doing it themselves. Everything else has always seemed to be so automated, and the Elite Dangerous mechanics and their idea of mining is literally everything I've ever wanted in the actual physically going out, the manual labor of gathering the equipment, the minerals, etc. The whole process of it is manual compared to any other thing I've ever experienced, and it's the sense of achievement once you've found things that drew me in. I've never looked back since.
So, coal mining country boy.
Yeah, you were
a family in Pennsylvania. I could feel that.
You were a miner at heart.
Without
even
doubt.
Before you started playing Elite. So
yeah.
It's interesting. So what was your first reaction to finding painite or low temperature diamonds for the first time? Can you remember?
I do remember, because I was so new. I think the game Elite came out in, was it 2014, I believe, was it? And I joined in the following April, from its release, and straight away I had the mining lasers set up on the Sidewinder. There was no limpets, so I didn't need all the room for the collector controllers. I just needed the refinery, and that was it. So I went out, and I'm landing in all these belt clusters, and I'm over the moon because I'm mining indite and lepidolite that's worth 400 credits, and I'm thinking I've hit the jackpot, and I got a ton of silver that paid out almost 4,000 credits. I thought, oh, I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. And I teamed up with a group. I never really got involved with communities as such. It was the first Elite was the first game I'd ever got involved with any form of community or player faction guilds type thing. And I joined, and there was a couple of people that knew a bit about mining but weren't that into it. But they said, "Oh, I'd show you can actually land in the rings." I was like, "No, it's not possible. I don't believe you." So they took me out, and we dived into the rings. And bearing in mind, I'd been quite happy in my Sidewinder, earning 400 credits a day. Yeah, they introduced me to. We found a painite rock, and I took it back to the station. And I think at the time, I always get this confused, but I can remember I may as well have fallen off my computer chair when I saw the price I could sell it for in the station. I think at the time it was either 27,000 credits or 42,000 credits was the max price we could get for painite at the time before further updates. But yeah, that day I was like, I've spent 4 months mining in belt clusters, earning around maybe 1,000 credits a day to the 42,000. I just needed 1 ton and I'd earned 42,000 credits. It was a great day.
Did you upgrade your ship after that?
Oh, and I treated myself to the adder. And I was set for life. I thought I don't need anything after this adder until the money started, and then the money starts rolling in, and I get greedy, and you set your sights on the Type 9, and that was it. After that, that was my goal.
So, how did you get into distant worlds when it's an exploration trip? What does that to do with mining?
Yeah, this is it. So I didn't know a thing about. I have a lot of close friends that I've played alongside for a lot of years now, and they attended Distant Worlds expedition, the first one, and I'd not heard a thing about it. Exploration wasn't my thing. I enjoyed being there. I could spend. I think at one point when we were in our own player faction, I think I spent something like 1.5 years without actually jumping out of the system. I think I took the FSD to the lowest it could be, just so I could go backwards and forwards from the station to the rings. So, as not knowing anything from Distant Worlds, it's where I get to the rock rats. Asked me to come and help them, and then in December they made the decision to hand me the mining lead on the Distant Worlds expedition, which was a very wow moment with the whole scale of things. You learn very quickly how popular Distant Worlds is, even if you don't know anything about it. You're kind of taken aback at how much it means to a lot of people. So yeah, they handed me the reins of the mining department after they introduced me to the whole expedition itself, and then everything moved from there. But again, for all they passed me the reins and brought me in on it, the rock rats have been absolutely key in helping me. They've still been helping me in that role, almost like in the role that they originally brought me in on. They're now doing for me, and they've been an integral part of the mining department ever still, and will be until throughout the expedition's duration.
So when we got the community goal,
what a community goal that was, Nagi, yeah.
What did you expect it to be, and how different turned it out to be in the end? So in
the lead up, I think in the last 2 months before the release, Dr. Kai and Eramis allowed me to introduce my staff members from the IMU server, as well as a great and absolute golden recommendation from All Crows Are Black for the PS4 community in Will T. Riker. And we formed a team alongside the Rock Rats. So there was the likes of Greatest and Baroness. Eisen's been one of my greatest assets at the department. And in the lead up, we put as much documentation as possible to help anybody, because we've got to remember that it is an exploration expedition, and we spent all our time doing it. There's also a hell of a lot of commanders that have never mined before at all. So we put as much information as possible out of our dusty brains as we could into the mining channel that got opened, and then just answered as many questions as possible in the lead up. There's an awful lot of questions we couldn't answer because the information was only given to us on the day of release. But in the meantime, it meant that the workload was huge, and it was up to us to ensure that everybody knew what they needed to know, and at least the essentials were covered, and the resources. We just utilised every resource at our disposal to ensure the commanders themselves, right before we could even concentrate on the community goal, the commanders themselves knew what the task at hand and what roles they could play. The do's and don'ts, what you can and can't do, and so forth. And then the community goal released, and it was laser mining, which was an absolute godsend, because it's laser mining, in my opinion, is one of the most interactive activities you can do in Elite Dangerous, as I think a lot of the miners during the expedition found out.
Yeah, we got a lot of pictures in FleetCom where 10 commanders all firing their mining lasers at a single rock, surrounded by a huge swarm of limpets. Great pictures.
Yeah.
So we were actually quite happy that it turned out to be traditional mining community goal, and not focusing on the new mining mechanics.
Yeah. And I want to pop in here. Michael is here now, so he's going to be taking the lead, and I think that's a good thing, because if we have Nagi and Dan and me, we're just going to have too many accents.
What?
But Dan, I'm going to leave you with. I might pop in later, but I've got one more question for you, if it's all right with you.
Go for it.
So you talked about mining, you talked about your motivations, what you've enjoyed, and you've talked about your kind of current purpose and what you're doing with Distant Worlds 2 and helping out with the community goal and everything and helping people out. But what stands out for you in your experience so far as a miner, and what are you possibly looking for in the future, if kind of sort those two out into one question, or answer them however you want.
In terms of what stands out, is it to do with mining as a whole, or would it just during the Distant Worlds expedition?
Well, just generally in your whole experience of everything we're doing out here.
The standout thing for me will always be that, as obviously my opinion will be very biased towards mining because we love it so. But I believe mining is the standout feature of mining, is that it is one of the, if not the only, trade or industry that can really get almost every trade involved. Every other every other aspect of Elite Dangerous can be involved quite, in depth with mining in terms of, if you think of how, traders can, if you step away from community goals, mining with friends can lead to, the trade from the rings to any station, even if you haven't, refined it yourself. There's the security aspect of it, which is quite serious, where not only do people need protection from, players who, make a career out of, offensive play, but the NPCs that, quite regularly can chase you through systems. And then you've got exploration is in mining. Mining is so reliant on exploration for commanders that are out there finding places for us to mine, locations. What else? There's so many ways that you can really get involved without actually touching a mining laser, but you're still involved with mining, and making it, better at all times, which is why I think mining is the best trade for interaction as a whole, and bringing together commanders that really would never fly together, under normal circumstances. I think it's a real eye opener, and I think the Distant Worlds expedition has proven that, beyond doubt.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Yeah, I'm sorry for joining you guys so late. Yeah, I'm not going into why. So I'm not entirely sure what you already talked about. But I've got a question. You were saying you were flying your Edda, and are you still in it?
Unfortunately, not. I do have a PS4 account that I get to fly the Adder in, but at the moment, I fly in my trusty Type 10, which I've brought on the expedition with me as well.
So
Why did you choose a Type 10 and not a Type 9 for mining then?
I had the Type 10 for a long, long time. Like I say, when I was first, making my progress towards one of the first big ships before I was playing before the
Yeah,
cutter.
because you said
Corvette.
earlier that the Type 9 was like your ultimate goal at first, so why the Type 10?
Yeah, so with me making I got the Type 9, and I had the Type 9 for about 2 years, and it was my baby. It was the best thing ever that ever happened to me. And the introduction to with the engineers meant that NPCs got quite tough in terms of offense, and yeah, I struggled to defend myself when we're using the Type 9, and I was managing a little bit with the introduction of the ship launch fighters, which were, brilliant. And then they released the Type 9 with guns, which is also known as the Type 10. So I not only can I carry the ship launch fighter.
No. Tonks is a beautiful ship. Everyone, if you don't have one, go buy one. Type 10 Tonks.
I will
is
after the
the-
expedition. That's one
Yeah.
of my goals.
The people often comment that the Type 9 is the space cow, which is very much true. The Type 10, I would probably recommend that it's a space cow with horns for sure.
Space Cow with horn. So, what's your favorite ship? If you had to pick one.
Type 10 forever.
Type 10.
Forever.
Until the
Forever.
Panther Clipper comes out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, spinning off of that, then. Well, no, because that's our closing question. We're gonna hold off on that for another half hour.
Now you destroyed the.
No.
everything.
No. We can't ask. We gotta finish with that question. That question is the closer. So
Cool.
we got your favorite ship. We know what you're doing. As you are a miner, but being involved in Distant Worlds 2. Oh god, I said I wasn't going to be involved and I was going to turn my mic off, and now here I am.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Go for it. Go for it. You're doing great.
As
I
you were
love it.
saying, we got too many accents, and I'm drinking, so my southern's going to get real thick. But
You're fine for now.
what have you enjoyed? I mean, as part of Distant Worlds 2, you're obviously on the whole expedition.
Yeah.
What have you seen that's maybe not related to mining as an explorer that maybe is interested you or really kind of opened you up to other things in the game, and what are your opinions on the new features and new things that we have available to us?
I am in love with the new FSS equipment. Is it the full spectrum something? I can never remember its full name.
Full spectrum
the new-
scanner.
Full
something.
spectrum scanner, yeah.
Yeah.
It says
so
FSS scanner activated.
FSS scanner. Yeah. So I introduced myself to it. Just wondering. I was just curious. I was like, I don't need it. I'm a miner, but I'll just have a look. I'll just test it. So I went out and the whole mechanic for it, fully fledged explorers may disagree. I'm not sure what the opinion is out there in the experienced guys, but I couldn't even call myself a novice. I'm so fresh to exploration. It's unbelievable. So when I went out and tried it for the first time, I had done a little bit for the I think it's Palin, that you have to travel so far for the engineered thrusters, the grade 5 thrusters.
5,000 light years.
Yeah,
from the
so I
star.
had nipped out, and it was such a shame that there was so many. One thing I did find is like it was such a shame that there was so many systems where the star had been scanned, or the stars were scanned and discovered, but a lot of the things like the icy body planets were undiscovered because they weren't worth anything. So you go through an awful lot of systems where it's like almost like the traditional honk and jump, where they scan the star and go elsewhere because the planets were worthless. But now, and which is helping that alongside, is that I actually feel like I'm with the whole tuning and the zoom and everything to make sure you get the right frequency for the scanner itself. I actually feel like I'm discovering things when I'm zooming in on them. I don't, because I haven't quite got to grips with what the signals mean just yet. Every planet that comes to me is a mystery, and I just think that the new mechanic actually draws me in to make me want to do it more, and is something that I'm doing just in and about Omega at the moment.
I'm also just doing that live on the video stream just to showcase it.
Yeah, I really do think it's fantastic. Whenever I jump into a system and you literally see the star, and I'm like, I can't wait to find the blurs and zoom in and get them focused and think, I've just found this. I found this, and I'm searching, and yeah, it just keeps me very, very occupied in comparison to the old ways.
So, what discoveries stand out from that? What's the coolest thing you've discovered so far?
Well, so far I've been pretty boring, and I'm yet to find anything that's not been discovered because I haven't gone too far. I've just been taking I think I've done about 200 light years on an economical route. So I think I'm just slowly getting out of the distance of discovered places. But as a role-play feature for myself and for some of the other guys, I like to find the ringed planets and document the what rings I'm finding. If I actually discover if there are any undiscovered planet bodies with rings, I like to document them as an RP exercise, which I really enjoy. So they're probably my favourite discoveries, above even the credit-rich Earth lakes and such.
All right. Yeah, I'm enjoying discovering Earth-like worlds the most.
All them credits.
No, not because of the credits, but because yeah, they look the best to me, I think.
I'm yet to find out how excited I get.
I almost found a green system right now. Only arsenic is missing, if I see that right. Oh no, we got arsenic. Aye, it's a green system. Every Jamponium material is here.
Nice.
Live on stream.
Very nice. Yeah, so I was fearing this moment would come. I'm losing track.
Oh, sure, take it from here then.
Yeah, if you want, please.
Yeah, you are happy with the new exploration changes, but what actually about the mining changes? We haven't really talked about those. The deep core blasting, the subsurface displacement missile, and such. They changed mining quite a lot. So, do you like them? Do you have something in mind that they could have done better with them, or what is your opinion on?
I think you and everyone listening will probably agree that the new prices that can become available are quite tasty for the new mining, especially the void ore. But yeah, the new changes are fantastic. If we can find a way to, as you know, as Frontier mentioned, that they are to complement or run alongside the traditional methods. If we can find a way to do that, we will do. But at the moment, I personally still like the traditional mining system because of again, going back to the interaction, teamwork, wing mining and things. Because the new mechanics are very. I think at the moment the new mechanics are very solo orientated. The new additions are awesome. Graphically, the hunt for the new rocks is a new purpose given to mining. It's helped drastically for those that still need to do engineers.
Oh yeah.
The way to find, with the bromellite hotspots, because you can find.
Yeah, we use that on the preparation week to help other people unlocking the engineers that way.
Yeah. So painite and bromellite core asteroids are, absolute. If people can master those, are an absolute godsend to people wanting to speed up there. Especially for those that maybe don't have too much of an interest in mining, that it's quite a good method to acquire those materials. I do. My opinion of as a whole, I think they've been an awesome addition. One thing that people may disagree with, on my opinion, is I'm not entirely sure that the prices should be so high. It's under debate from a lot of us in our server.
I think that's actually more the BGS to play on that, because this price of 1.6 million for each ton of void opals is just multiple BGS states coming together, and it's not just with
we dig that in void opals. Come on.
I wouldn't have it changed for the world. There's so many things get changed too often.
Yeah, that's just what happened. Basically, is they like you said, they changed so many things at the same time with this update, and this is the outcome of it.
So yeah, I wouldn't change what they are. I would maybe bump others up a little bit rather than bring things down. Just to because I don't want the problem is that what we've got with because of the, like you say, the BGS changes to the pricing. What you've got is the neglect of traditional method. The old metals and minerals are being left behind, which is unfortunate. And I mean, another method to do. I wish they'd introduce some missions, maybe to some mining missions that require new and old minerals. But I'm going a little bit off with my opinions, but going back to the additions, I think they've been exactly what we needed.
So basically they made mining much more popular with the new
Without a doubt.
methods.
Just to put it into perspective, how popular Nagi, we were at around 300 after 8 months. If we opened in March, say 9 months of the creation of the IMU, we acquired around 350, 400 members. Within 7 days of the Chapter 4 release, we went up to 700.
Yeah.
So we gained around 300 plus members in a week because of the Chapter 4 release.
Yeah, it kind of became an alternative, viable money-making method. It was actually the money-making meta for a short time before they fixed that double abrasion blaster bug.
Oh, that was good fun though, while it lasted.
Yeah, I also used it, I have to admit.
Well,
but I didn't make too much from it. I was just doing it a little bit and for the fun, because I will be making so much money from Distant Worlds 2 that I don't need to mine for money. So I just do it for fun and for the community goal, of course. That was also a different motivation there to get this tier 11 done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Nagi, you bring it right around and tie it up in a nice bow. We did finish the community goal, which did start out at tier 8, and in less than a day...
Did we finish that before the day was out?
Yeah, I was about to say, in less than a day.
Basically, I went to sleep when it was at tier 2, and next morning when I got to work, I opened up Discord, and it was already at tier 8.
Yeah, it was at tier 8, and the Frontier boosted it to 11 because this goes to 11. Why not make 10 the max? Because this one goes to 11. Dan, I wanted to get your opinions on how you feel about the community goal 2, which is what is that, 4 or 5 weeks now in the future, just a little over a month away.
Probably will be on skiing vacation during that time, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah.
But Dan, what are your feelings about? I mean, obviously with so many people involved in DW2, so many explorers, but also so many people really embracing mining and the new mechanics. How do you feel that? Excuse me, sorry. How do you feel that Community Goal 2 will go? Do you think it'll be as successful as this first one?
I do hope so. There is the problem. What we've got is again, we're in the dark again. Once this CG finished, we're back in the dark in terms of what the CG will require of us till the release day. So until that Thursday of the CG date, we won't find out what's to do. Judging by the response we got from the last CG, I have very high hopes for how we'll do. I think we've set a bar for ourselves. On one hand, we've got a very, very excellent go-do attitude. Let's get stuff done attitude. Like the CG, the CG one, where basically, I did my best to pump everybody up beforehand, dropping messages, and there was plenty of pins on the Wednesday, Thursday, just saying, come on, we can do it. Let's tear the Omega Nebula a new one, and things like that. Just keep dropping little hints in, which I think was taken up pretty well. There was plenty of reaction from the community on that front. So I have faith, as always. I have faith that we'll succeed. Again in CG2. We have, however, on the other hand, put a little bit of pressure on ourselves to, reach the same amount of success.
We kind of set a bar now.
We didn't just complete CG1. Really, we absolutely smashed CG1. And I've never, as being involved and being made, at the head of department and one of the organisers and all the staff that helped, I couldn't have been any prouder of the outcome and any prouder of, everybody that got involved. The contributions, I don't think we've ever seen contributions like it by single commanders.
Yeah, we got actually a list of the top 10 commanders, the top 10 contributors.
I'll just squeeze in with a little shout out, Nagi, for Jake P, who's my one of my IMU staff at the top of the list there.
Yeah, we have them in our news included, which will be played after this interview. So you will hear all those glorious 10 names and their tonnage.
Absolutely.
And we've got one of them here on the Discord, Morris, who's asking, where actually are you coming from?
As in where my actual real life accent.
Well, I think he's looking for a regional accent.
I'm a northerner. I'm from Yorkshire.
Morris nailed it there, Yorkshire. Yeah, Henny and Morris both got it right. He's from Yorkshire.
And Morris guessed Surrey. Penny said Yorkshire.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, Morris guessed Surrey. Sorry, Morris.
So we got that. How much did you contribute to the CG, and how much did you get?
Myself, personally, with I'll throw in a few excuses with real life interdictions from my beautiful other half, and the admin side that goes with it. I managed to scrape 3,000 tons in, just short of 3,000 tons.
That's 500 tons more than I did. I was at 2.5k.
And I say that's an excellent effort, Nagi. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, I got a surgery coming in between on Monday, so it was.
I'm finally back in the thing, and I'm actually here now. Hank is at Omega. Watch out. But like when I look at these numbers, it genuinely blows my mind. The top 10 commanders were donating 10,000 tons a person.
Yep.
It like oh my, like I'm glad when I can go out and do an hour and be like, hey, I brought back 100 ton. Jeez.
So
I'm
do
really
you
content
think
with my 1.5k tons.
Yeah, you were in a kind of small ship for that, so.
Yeah, still top 10%.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, fantastic achievement, man.
So do you think for the second community goal, they will involve the the new mining mechanics more, or do you think they will still go with laser mining all the way?
I would love more than anything for another challenge of laser mining with everybody. Like I said, I'll always come back and speak about how well the traditional mining brings everybody together and to work together and everything like that. But I think from a I suppose what I would class as a professional opinion, I think Frontier would be missing a trick if they didn't involve the new mechanics so close to the release of Chapter 4, which I could totally understand them doing. But from my heart, I hope that I hope it's a dual. We're hoping some of the metals and minerals are available through laser mining and core. The new mechanics. So I would hope that maybe they had those so that people could, people can choose what they want to do and go out and do that. But like I say, I think Frontier would be missing a trick if they didn't add the new mechanic in with how popular it is at the moment.
Yeah, I think so too. If they make both a viable way to contribute, that would be the best thing. But I think they would have to reduce the total tonnage then, because you get much less out of core mining if you look at the total numbers.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the core mining's added, I think like CG1, someone put up a great post or a great picture. I can't remember exactly what the picture depicted, but the actual caption on the picture was Tier 11, hold my beer. So it was the uptake, the instant uptake from the mining community along this. Well, it's not just the mining community; it's all the distant worlders that, regardless of their trade, got involved. So I think, regardless of tiers, I still think we'll complete it. I agree that I think they'll be lower. Whether we get the same reaction as the additional tiers, I think we'll surprise Frontier again if it's core materials. But like I say, I think it'll be a good challenge. It'll be tough, but I have every faith.
Right.
Yeah, we do this.
Well, coming up here on the hour, then I guess I'm gonna go back to the question that I held off on, and I wanted to give you here. And I think as a miner, and not as a combat pilot or explorer, this might be interesting to get an answer from you for if you had an option to bring any other ship on this expedition rather than what you're flying right now, what would it be?
Oh God.
Yeah, see, it sounds like a simple question, but it's not.
It's not, because there's so many great choices that you could mine with. I mean, I made a scout miner out of a Fer-de-Lance, and it's unheard. I think I was hated by the combat community for months for desecrating such a ship. But yeah, difficult. I'll say I'll be fair and I'll stay away from the obvious. I'm not going to say Type 9 because that's just cheating. If I could choose, the Anaconda is the ultimate ship in my opinion. So that's a tough one.
Everyone right now, all the Anaconda guys.
Yeah, I went with an Anaconda actually because of the community goal, so I could pack all my exploration and mining gear into one single ship. So I planned ahead and would or switch to a cutter later. After
I think if I was to, one of my goals, because of the Anaconda's ability, and because I know it's the Anaconda, I would love to get my hands on a Corvette because I think I've had a play with. Obviously, you can play with the outfitting in the various third-party tools, and I just think the Corvette is an anaconda on steroids. I really do. I think it'd be awesome to have a play with, especially for we do a lot of resource extraction site mining, which especially in the hazardous res sites is
that sounds
very good.
interesting.
It's very good fun and very lucrative.
You gotta hit me up for that when you're doing that. When after the expedition, I gotta join that. It sounds fun.
We just a little plug for the IMU. Like up until the distant worlds, obviously I've had to come away and I've come away from the local stuff in the bubble to take part in the guidance and the organisation of the mining department. But the Intergalactic Mining Union, we travel various locations in the bubble, spending maybe 2 or 3 weeks in a single location, just doing res site mining. We host events. We host a weekly event where people can get together and try and survive in the res sites, because as well as the research that Lionheart did on prospectors, which some of you may have read in the pinned messages in FleetCom, obviously the A-rated prospector is a 3.5 times bonus compared to the other prospector limpets. The res site also offers greater rewards in terms of fragment count, mining within 20 kilometers of the res site center. So yeah, worth a try, Nagi. When you've got a minute, come and join us.
Are there actually res sites overlapping with hotspots?
Yes.
Ooh.
We have a piece of research also ongoing. We've got Will T. Riker, who is in charge of. I say he's in charge. He's in charge and taking upon himself to create a document with all the mining locations around. Obviously, he did it was Will T. Riker that found the Indite hotspot during CG1, where him and a group of the PS4 commanders did some scouting in a radius of the Omega mining operation, which slowly built some help from the PC and Xbox community. I also have a piece of research in the bubble that is slowly increasing in radius around Sol to locate and record all known hotspots, overlaps, and res sites. So yeah, we've got our work cut out for us.
All right. Well,
yeah.
I guess we're gonna leave it here. If we got any final words from our hosts or Nagi, I also might have had a hard drive failure, fortunately, so I'm gonna be pulling the audio from Nagi's stream.
Oh.
Again? Oh no.
So a little bit of in-game audio will be in there, but not too much. I did one system jump and a few scans, so
yeah, it
for
won't
rerun.
hurt people. Just some sound effects to accompany the talk.
Yeah, it was because we were talking about the new scanning mechanics at that point. I just did that.
Yeah. If I per se don't have any final words, but Dan, is there something you wanna tell the world?
The galaxy.
To
tell the galaxy,
okay.
of course.
Yeah. Come and enjoy Distant Worlds if you haven't already. To our miners from CG1, have a drink on me and have a rest. Enjoy yourselves for a few weeks until I get you all back behind the whip and get you back working. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on here. Just a quick shout out to our staff at the IMU and Will T. Riker for aiding us.
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah,
for that.
for me it's just yeah, good work on the mining goal, everyone. I'm still totally amazed by how good that, how well that worked.
Michael says thank you, but honestly, like for me, Chankk, I know I've been promoting it literally every single show and even in the Discord every single day. Thank you, everyone, for all the work you've done. Also, I found out what happened. I might have accidentally kicked a power plug and unplugged my hard drive. It does still exist and it does still work, but I might have lost some recording there. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But again,
you got to check if how much is if at all some is available, and we can cut that together.
yeah, we'll we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
That's
we
that's
will,
what
we'll
I
get it
do.
done.
I make the highlights and I make the thumbnails and I edit the audio for.
And you figure stuff out.
I will, but I want from me again to literally. I'm finally here. I'm back. I'm actually at Omega right now. But for me, Chankk told me not just from the radio, for me personally, because I promoted this and I talked about this literally every single day. And I know I really started pushing the combat thing, and we will maybe be talking to somebody related to that next week. Who is our guest? Nagi, can you confirm that for me?
Next week we have Commander Josh Hawkins here.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's right. And that'll be definitely not me. I always say that every week now for 3 weeks, but that one will definitely not be me.
Yeah, that one will be hosted by Henka, actually, his
Yeah.
first big appearance on the radio, and maybe I join if no one else wants to. I don't know. We will see about that.
Yeah, we'll still we decide on the co-host for that.
Yeah. But again, from me personally, Chankk Satome, everyone out there, if you delivered 10,000 tons or you delivered just one, thank you, because you made the first tier 11 community goal, mining community goal, not just a thing, but actually completed in 4.5 years of this game.
Yeah.
And everything we all have here. You guys made this a thing.
Yeah.
that I kept talking about every single day that I was online to be here with you. And thank you all so much for that. And Dan, thank you for being at the lead of it.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
I think we can do tier 12 at least next time.
Definitely. Challenge accepted.
All
We'll
right.
eat that up too.
Also got
With
some
that-
final words for all the Imperial pilots out there. Because right now I'm on my alt commander, which is an Imperial citizens. If you can't afford an Imperial cutter yet and still want to have a fine mining ship, go buy a clipper. It's a very fun mining ship. I've tested that in the beta.
I also knew that would come.
With all of that, though, I have been your host on the radio here, Chankk Otome.
I have been your live stream host, Dr.
And I've
Nagi.
been mostly not there the whole time.
Michael, the boss man. And we've been listening and talking with our very gracious guest here.
Polish
Yeah,
Dan?
you should say your name, please.
That's where you jump in, Dan. That's where
Sorry.
you come in and say who you are.
With your cue.
Polish Dan, head of mining.
Yeah, the king.
Polish Dan from
The
the
king of Zen.
Intergalactic Mining Union. You might remember people, look him up, and maybe some want to help and join and stuff like that. It's a nice place to
And-
be, I think.
I will be turning off the radio, giving it over to the auto DJ. I will be back on in about 25 minutes again, though, to announce all the new news.
Yes,
So,
alright. You can just
that will be-
air him now if you want, though. You
Yeah,
don't
we got a file recorded. You can play that.
I'm gonna break it from the stream.
Alright,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's say goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
Yeah,
everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
And stay tuned for the news.
See you in the void.